What up, Chi-Town? It's TomMan, low-end legend, product of Simeon, played with Ben Wilson, 1984 state champ. We rocked the world. Back in the day, I took a lot of shop classes and learned a lot of trades. Today, I'm gonna get into a D.I.Y. on how to change oil on basically any car, anytime, at a low price of your own. You don't have to pay all that astronomical money. I'm trying to conserve you some money, show you the basic skills necessary, and get everything done the right way. First off, let's start off with the basic tools that are required to do the oil change. You're gonna need a wrench for the removal of the oil filter, which is a oil filter wrench. You're gonna need a 3/8 drive, ratchet, and socket, and probably some adapters depending on what and where the oil filter is located. Okay, now I've got the oil filter, the oil, I've got my safety glasses, I got my jack stands, and I have my oil pan. And you may need some penetrant of any kind, but this is what I use. Start off by popping the hood. Once you pop the hood, make sure it's secured. Then next thing we want to do is remove the oil cap on this V6 2006 Toyota Camry. This can be done on a series of cars from 2005 to 2011. 2012 they changed over and the oil nut is in a different position. So make sure you inspect before you just go straight to the back. I'll show you under here where it's located in a few seconds. First off, I'm gonna start out by jacking up the car. I gotta put on my gloves, get my safety equipment set up, and put my jack stands under. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Safety glasses, pair of gloves. You always want to secure yourself so the car doesn't fall just in case the jack gives out. So now I'm going to start by moving to the front. I'm going to pull out this jack stand, and the jack, I'm sorry, and show you guys what type of jack I use. And it's a 3-ton jack. It's basically more secure, even though this car is under 3,000 pounds. So this is a 3-ton jack. Okay, I got this cardboard down here just in case I get some spillage, just so I don't soil my pavement in here. But this is a 3-ton jack by Pittsburgh. I'm not promoting anything, but this is what I use. I use a speed jack. I'm gonna slide it under the front cover of the car. There is a bracket. That's right here. This is where I'm gonna place the head of the jack to start lifting it, so I got even balance and I can go under and place both the jack stands. Make sure your jack is in position. Make sure your jack is in position. This is the mount right here that I'm coming to, so I know I'm under it and the jack is secure. There we go, we're all the way under. Now I'm about to go up with the jack, going up with the jack to raise the front of the car. All right, we have one jack stand over here. Left way first. Got one jack stand already over here. Secure the jack stand under here in its proper mount to space. 1 second to go up a few more inches. For safety purposes, always when you jack the car up, make sure that you put this in the proper mounting positions on the car frame of the car. These are mounted spots right here, which are solid. You don't want to go in up here, then you'll be pressing into the floor. That's a bad move. You'll be destroying something, or either if the floorboard is weak, if the jack, once the weight of the car is taken off the jack, it'll push the floorboard in. Okay, now I'm going to lower the jack stand. Get these wires out for my light. Okay. There we go, secured. Now I can lower the car and take the weight off of the jack. Now I'm under the car, and I'm about to show you the location of the oil pan screw where the oil drains out of. You're going to use a 3/8" ratchet with a 14" socket for this. The nuts that are in here are various sizes on different cars. So just like I said, always inspect to find out what you need. This is the actual nut right here. I'm going to grab this 3/8" ratchet, and then I will proceed to break this, and I'm going to get my oil pan. Hey y'all, it's something else I forgot to mention. The light. You're going to need some light under here in most cases because this car is not up on a hoist and you're not in a garage with a hoist. So once you're under here, make sure you have an adequate enough light so you can see. I have my bucket to catch the oil that's going to drain out. Okay, I got my 3/8" ratchet and my 14" socket, and it's righty tighty, lefty loosey. So I got to go to the left to break the nut. All right, I'm gonna come back to the right. Okay, always go into the screw first, and then go back the opposite way just to release some of the tension or if it's rust under here. Now, there we go. I'm freeing the nut. And make sure you have some gloves on because this oil is going to start coming out. And once it starts to come out, it's going to be virtually impossible for you to not get oil on your hands, or in some cases the oil nut may drop into the bucket. In that instance, then you just gotta wait and get you some gloves and dig it out, or get a magnet and go down and get it out. But this is the way you take it out. All right, there she blows. See what I mean about the nut shooting out? Now it's just a matter of oil draining out. I'll get this out because I do have gloves, and another reason I had a cardboard, as I had mentioned earlier, was for just in case I get some spillage, so it will not soil the concrete. So with that being said and done, we can go back up top, and I can get to the oil filter from here, or if you want, you can do it from the bottom, but you'd have to remove the flasher here, and I can get it from the top, so I'm not going to bother the flasher. The most important thing is to make sure that you drain all of the oil out, and always check to where you either have a drip or the oil is completely stopped before you start pouring in any new oil or cap this off. Checking now. Okay, the oil has stopped, so now what I can do is remove the pan in a few minutes. I gotta ferret out the nut that dropped in there. As you can see, we have a slow drip, so the oil has practically completely drained out of here. There's not a constant flow. So now I can go in here and get this, remove the oil pan and get the nut out of here. Okay. Now I've retrieved the oil pan nut. All right. So now this can go back up and in. All right, so I've hand tightened it. Okay, so now I'm gonna Slide this back a little bit, and I'm gonna go back the opposite way with this 14 millimeter to lock in the nut. All right, righty tighty. Okay, remember that left side to break, right side to tighten. Very simple. You'll wind up saving yourself anywhere from $50 to $100. It all depends on the location of the nut and what has to be removed. Alrighty, now I can come up top. This is the oil filter wrench. I have to go under. I'm gonna put it on from the top. I'm gonna slide it on from the top, then I'm gonna slide back down to the bottom to unloosen it, to take it off. It's tight under there. That's why you won't see me up at the top doing it, but I'll be under the bottom unloosening it, and then I'll take the new filter and put the new filter on. I'm going down. All right. I'm placing the wrench onto the filter so I can get under it and get some pressure and release it. It's just tight down here. Okay, let me go down. All right, okay, here we go. So I'm loosening now. To the left is to unloosen. Okay, there we go. As you see, my hand is moving and the wrench has loosened up the filter. I'm coming up now with the ratchet. The ratchet is off. I'm gonna slide this bucket back under there because there's gonna be oil to drain out. Okay, that's gonna be the last of the oil that's in the unit. So you'll see it start to come out. You can hear it is draining down now. Alrighty. This thing just twists off. It's a screw on. So I'll show you once I pull it up. Almost there. Okay. There we go. I got it. The filter's coming out now. The oil filter. This here, it has a deep screw on it, so these are this is what you thread back onto the oil case itself. All right, so it's a little oil left in here. Let me pour it out. I'm done with that. Now, once I do this, I can load the oil. Go back down here, double check to make sure that I've tightened up the oil pan nut, and I'll be right back up top in a second. Okay. The oil is removed. Filthy. This was a factory oil change that was done on this because it's Toyota filter. So now you see I got the blue STP oil filter. They match up. Always just take a little bit of the oil and grease the top of the gasket before you put this back in. That way it's a smoother transition. Okay, you see I've greased all around there. Just rub it on there just to get some grease. Now let me change my glove right quick. All right, now I'm getting ready to go back and replace the new filter in. All right, so you go in and you screw it in. You go back up under the manifold. Okay, hand tighten this as much as possible. You go back with your wrench and probably 1 or 2 turns. This thing will be locked in tight, and you're almost done. There we go. It's locked on now. I've double checked and made sure that the filter was tight. The filter is completely tight. The oil nut, pan nut at the bottom is tight. It's time to top this off with some oil. Then fire the car up. Let me get this funnel right quick, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, now I got my funnel placed here. About to open this oil. Try to tear all of this aluminum off just so you don't have any of this stuff going into the oil casing, because it will clog up the filter. So try to remove as much of this as possible. Make sure there's nothing loose. Okay, now this car requires 4.5 quarts of oil, and as you can see, this oil here came out. That was a factory oil job that was done over, I think it was like 3,000 or 4,000 miles overdue for changing. But this is fresh oil, and now you see that's dirty oil. All right, so first off, let me remove this pan. I always keep an empty can where I can, for recycling purposes, save the environment too. I am environment friendly, so whatever you do, just don't pour this down the drain, because this stuff goes through our water system and we drink it. So please do not do that. Try to be conscious. All right, so now I'm going back over here quickly. All right, now take your time and just ease it in. Main thing you don't want to do is to rush and have this thing overflow and spill onto the engine, because as the engine gets hot, it'll start to smoke as it burns off, just like cooking grease in the house and you get the smoke. You'll be thinking your car is on fire or something's wrong. So please just be very careful and conscious when you do this. All right. Okay, now I poured half of it in. We'll take the dipstick out, which is right here, the oil stick. Now I'm gonna check the level to see where I'm at. Stay conscious, because you really don't want to overfill this thing, else you'll get white smoke coming out of the tailpipe of your car. Okay. About another half to go, and we should be fine. Another thing you want to do as you pour this stuff in, once you get down to like 3/4 of this stuff, just go under there and check to make sure that you have no leaks coming out of the oil pan nut nor the filter. All right, I'm filling now. This is completely sealed, so hand is dry. Completely sealed, hand is dry, so there is no leak. Pulling the stick out. We're looking good. This fresh oil is right here, so I got about maybe 1/8 to go to put in here. And you see how clean that dipstick is. It's not black, or brown. That's burnt oil. All right, this is the last pour. These V6s hold this whole container, so you have to pour it in, but just be slow about doing it. You don't want to rush it. That way it all saturates all throughout the base. And then once you lower the car again, you're going to check again the oil, because the engine, the oil will level out, because right now it's in a tip position. Okay, that's that for that. Wipe off any excess that may have spilled. Okay, now you replace the oil pan cap. That's for the engine cover. Then in a second, I'll lower the car and check the fluids. Remove the jack stands. Okay. Also, make sure that you pour all of the oil out of the oil filter. Please do that. Else you're gonna be walking around and you're gonna have droplets like this coming out, and then you got your floor messed up, or you can slip or fall. So just be conscious of it. And normally what I do, I turn this right side up, put it back into the box. I get a plastic bag. I got some plastic bags somewhere around here, and I wrap it up just so it doesn't seep out if it tips over. But that's practically it. In a second, I'm getting ready to lower the car. I've got everything topped off, so let me get this jack stand back placed under here so I can lower the car. Oh, I got one thing that I want to do down here under this, the protector shield for the engine, the splash shield. I'm gonna run a couple of screws up in here and a couple of zip ties just to make sure that it's not hanging and it's not scraping the ground. $3.99 at AutoZone. You get various sizes. All right. 1 second, I'll be right back up top. All right, we're down below now, and I'm getting ready to secure the strap here for the shield. Okay, I got some zip ties that I'm gonna run up in here, and it's a little trick to the trade because sometimes these caps, they pop out from you hitting speed bumps and stuff like that with little whatnots. But the main thing is you don't want this thing to be dragging or hanging the ground because it's irritating. It's very irritating to a lot of people. This right here will drive some people nuts. Okay, that was there. I got another one right here that I'm going to run. Okay, this is another zip tie that I'm putting on for the shield. As you can see, it's loose. See, it's coming up. I'll clip these in a second. Got one more to do to run here. Yeah, got one more to do. But this thing is pretty secure now. Yeah, I just don't want this thing dragging the ground. Give me 1 second. I got to go up top. I'll be right back. Sometimes you may have to couple 2 or 3 or more of these things. Depends on if you have to cross over something. And look, it appears as if I do have to cross a bridge down here, which is the front of the H-frame. So I just want to do this just so this thing's not hanging. But these are things that, you know, if you're a mechanic, you spot something that you can help somebody out with. You know, I go out of my way a lot to help people out. But, you know, that's how you get your blessings. That's how you get your blessings. Okay. Here we go. All right. Find the hole. Another thing that I always do, I always clean my tools after I finish. So wipe off any excess oil and all of that, because you don't want to spoil your bag or anything. So whatever you use, just take a few seconds, wipe it off, put it back for easier storage and next time use. Okay, last but not least, so what I'm gonna do, oh, looking good, looking good. This is what you want to see. See, the mark is dead on the head. It's clear oil. Clear oil. Clear oil. That's what you want to see. I'm going to go back in, double check. So I told you, once it came down and leveled out. Here we go again. Right there, clear oil. That's what we want. Okay, now, time to fire up. Okay, last but not least, I've checked, double checked to make sure no tools were sitting at the top of the car. I'm about to start the car up, and let's go from there. All right, here we go. You ready to ride? All right, y'all. TomMan, D.I.Y. finally broke down and got everything done. We're going to kick it on the reel and do a recap right now as to all the material. I'm going to show you once again what it took to do this. As you gain more experience in doing it, your time will shorten. You got your oil filter, you got a funnel, you got a 3/8" drive with a 14-inch socket, various ones, extensions. You got your oil ratchet, and you got some lubricant. You see what came out, and this what went in. All right, so you see the difference. It doesn't take that long. And one last thing, since you're not at an oil shop and I don't have stickers, window stickers to put in there, what you do, take a piece of tape, get you a black magic marker, permanent marker, and you can put something in your windshield, or if you have an old sticker right on the back, the mileage from when your next oil changes. This one right here goes 5,000 to 6,000 miles. This car was at 137 something. So at about 142, he'll be ready for another oil change. But keep that in mind. Always notate when you changed your oil, just so you won't know and you won't be burning oil and your car starts running sluggish. And also, I hope this saves you some money, about $35, $40 just for all the materials. And at the shop, they're charging anywhere from $79 to $100. That's including the filters and everything. So you can do this yourself and save yourself some money. But your first purchase may be a little bit more expensive because you may not have all the tools that are required to do the job, like the jack stands, the jack, etc., etc. So you invest into that now, you save money down the road. You save a lot of money. Now, if you like what you've seen, please like and subscribe. TomMan Wolverines, Blue Machine, 1984 State Championship, #1, the first one out of the hole. And now the car's coming out the hole. Let's roll.